Welcome, welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Big Take Back with B3U, where we stop surviving and start deciding and take our power back. So, today's conversation is about breaking cycles and reclaiming identity and building legacies. So, with me, I have the wonderful, beautiful Miss Ashonda Fisher. So, for those who don't know you, Ashonda, yet, how would you describe who you are today and not just what you've been through?
Okay, so I'm Ashonda. I'm 37 years old. I'm a licensed hairstylist. I have two beautiful children, a son and a daughter. My son's 13, my daughter's 5. So that pretty much sums up everything about me. I love my children. I live for my kids, but I'm a very generous person, very considerate, very thoughtful, a person who really loves helping people and having conversations to give different perspectives to just my community, my people, adults. It don't matter if you're younger, older, a toddler. I just love making people see that instead of living and becoming your situation, because it is a different outcome for all of us, you don't have to be in a space where as though you're just in a situation where as though you're like, okay, this is where I'm at, this is how I gotta be. So I'm just a person who just love helping people and just love showing people just different things and how to overcome different situations.
Okay, so when people look at you now, do the strength that they see, the resilience. Okay, what do you think they don't see about the journey it took to get you where you are now? Because I know you are. I've known you for some time. You are my niece cousin. Okay, and you have. Love interviewing young people such as yourself. Who have been through some things that sometimes you wouldn't even know, Ashonda, to look at you. You wouldn't know what you've been through, but people don't know your journey and how what it took to get there. So to explain a little bit of that.
So for me, we all go through situations in life. One thing people don't know about me, I never give up. Even it don't matter how hard or what I'm going through. I'm not a person who sit in a situation and let it consume me. It actually fuels me. I don't know where that came from, but it's like I can't even cry. If I'm going through something, it's like my determination, my motivation to get up the next day and be like, okay, I can start over. Like a lot of people don't know that. Like some people look at me and be like, how did she? I think a lot of people do that. Like, well, how's she still standing? The grace of God. My faith alone allows me to know that I'm going to be okay. And that's a lot of people know that a lot of people don't know that I'm very spiritual. So I would say that's something that a lot of people may miss about me is that my faith is what carries me through every single day. Every time I have a situation or a setback, I just know that I'm going to be okay, and it's a mindset. So I'm not a person who speaks and say things like oh my God, I hope tomorrow be. It's like I know. Like I speak with conviction. I
Yeah.
don't never be like we all be low on funds. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm so broke. How am I find? No, God allow me to tomorrow rub $2.50 a penny together, and whatever I come up with is a blessing for me. So a lot of people don't know that about me, that my faith really carries me through, and I pray a lot about my strength. I don't play about my strength because that's something and a power that God gave me. So
Hey, and that's what the big take back is about. The first real big take back is owning who you are now without erasing who you were. Like okay, I'm going through struggles. I know that, but speaking strength into your life, right?
it's
Strength and
power in words.
power of the tongue. Power of
Yes.
the tongue. I love it. And that's what we first we have to really, sometimes people have to get to that point though. They have to get to that point. What was it a time before that where you weren't in the space you are now?
I would say I was very young. I will always like manifest these situations in my brain. Like I'll be before things even happen, I'm like, oh my God, my birthday coming up, I know it's gonna be horrible. And then when my birthday come up, it's horrible. But it's already because I done already spoke that into existence. And I will always just come up with the worst scenarios. I will always think the worst of situations. And then one day I think I probably was about 18 years old, a shift just I can't remember what happened or what trigger, but I know I was like 18 years old because I used to have a lot of anxiety about it. I used to have a lot of fear. Um, I just was consumed with just a lot of doubt. So I just one day I was like, you know what? I gotta reclaim my life. I gotta work. I gotta do better. My mom, I gotta help her. She has children, so it was really just my resilience. It just was something in me that just I knew I had to just do better. I just kept doing it, and I stopped doing it. So I haven't done it in a long time, years.
Okay.
37. So
All right. And you've walked through a lot of toxic relationships with and
yes,
a lot of family trauma. At what point
yes.
did you realize that you had that you had to make that change for yourself?
I realized I had to make that change for me. It was 11/11/2020. I remember that at the time I never correlated that but until I spoke to somebody. It was a very traumatic situation that I was in, and
Mhm.
somebody was like, 11/11, that's a new beginning. And I was like, wow, I never looked at that date like that. I always said November 11th, 2020. But in that situation, I definitely hit rock bottom, and I had to realize in that situation I needed more emotional stability, emotional intelligence. Like that is very important to know when to leave and when to stay. So, like I said, getting into that situation and just sitting back and asking myself, okay, where did this all start? It definitely started from when I was a child. So I had to take steps back, sit down, I journal, and I was able to come up with, okay, this is the problem. And the problem came from childhood trauma as to what
Yeah.
was leading me into toxic relationships. So that was the beginning for me.
So that's what we talk about here on B3U is breaking those generational cycles, the way you were raised,
Yes.
carry or and what you went through as a child and what trauma you went through as a child can affect you in your adult life and you don't even realize
You
it
don't even really, it's so crazy how it's like I could just one day just be laying in the bed and like a light bulb will go off, like, oh my God, I could watch a movie
Mhm.
and literally something that just triggers something from my childhood. And I'll sit up like, oh my goodness, that's where that came from. Especially with my father dying so young. I
Yes.
have a lot of trauma from that, which I didn't never think that I did until I had my first dream about my father. It was like I always felt like he wasn't dead, if that makes any sense, because I wasn't, as a 9-year old child, you hear, okay, your father's dead, but then you don't know about death. You don't know, and
Yeah,
especially if
yeah.
your parent isn't like, if you're not in church. So those things are important because at the time I didn't know really about church. I didn't know nothing about the Bible. All I know is that people lived and then they died. I didn't know where they came from. I didn't know who was the creator. I didn't know nothing. So I'm
Mhm.
thinking like, okay, I'm 9. Maybe he just ran off somewhere and he just didn't want to deal with his kids. I didn't know that I dealt with that to move forward. But I knew my dad was a very loving dad, and he would say things like, I would never leave you. I'm never going nowhere. So in my mind, if you tell me I'm never going to leave you, I'm never going nowhere, I wake up, you're going, you're a liar. So I created this protection around me, like, I can't trust people. Like people, they just leave. But that wasn't even a situation. So I had to really dig deep. And like I said, a lot of that and who I was at 9 years old, my father passing away, it definitely resonated in my relationship with men.
Wow. Yeah. These experiences are all too familiar with a lot of people that I interview with, and this is about teaching people who may be in that situation right now, the things that you went through. But let's talk about how did these experiences shape how you saw yourself in for a long time? How did you see yourself?
For a long time, I just didn't really see myself. I just felt like I just was existing. I really didn't have a purpose. I was like, get up every day, grab my mask, put it on,
Yes.
and show
Mm-hmm.
up in the world.
Right.
And I wasn't okay with that, but I was okay because people didn't see the hurt, they didn't see the pain, so it helped, it carried me through so many years. But I had to realize at the end of the day, I know I don't need the mask. I don't want the mask no more. I don't need people to see me. I have a voice. Um, I'm not going to allow, what I've been through to shape me. I'm not going to live in fear anymore. I didn't know my value. I didn't know my worth. I would just allow people to just mistreat me, misuse me. I was a people pleaser. Even though people know me, I don't play, but I can look back and see where as though I was being mistreated and allowing people to use me in ways that I was just like, okay, it's whatever. I don't care. Like I didn't allow myself to be vulnerable anyway in the first place. So it's like what you got from me really wasn't nothing. It wasn't much. But I had to realize that in the spaces that I was in, every part of me, every second of my time was worthy. I was valuable. Like I don't have a minute to waste. So it was like
Mhm.
I had to speak up, I had to use my voice, I had to realize that the mask definitely has to come off and you have to show up. You have to do the work. You have to literally shut everything out and focus right in on you. And that was the hardest part because I love to help people be the go-to person, but I was empty. I gained a bunch of weight. I didn't recognize who I was. I was super unhappy. I dedicated a lot of time into my children. I felt like I just didn't even matter. I didn't matter at all. And I woke up one day, I said, you know what? I'm going to put me first. And the terms F them kids, I hate that, but it's like, really, like, F
Mhm.
everyone around you. Like, you come first. And when I tell you, I felt so guilty. I cried so much because I'm like, who am I to want to put me first? But when I did, that's when I rose above all the ashes and I shined like the phoenix that I was.
Yes, yes, because survival will keep you alive, right?
Yes.
But healing gives you your life back once you make that decision, like you said, FDK. But it's really, it's just like, look, you have to get it, get to a point in your mind to say, I'm tired.
Yes.
I'm tired of just surviving, because just surviving, it wears you down. It wears you down just trying. But once you say, look, I need to make this decision to get it right, to heal my first, let me heal my mind, heal myself. It's just like being in the airplane, right? What did they tell you? Put your mask on first
Yes.
before you can help someone else.
Yes.
That is very important with life.
And
That is
and it's
so
so crazy that you said that because I said to someone before, people have to start using their time like they're getting on a flight and not a bus.
yes.
Because what happens when you have when you have to catch a flight, if you're a traveler, they tell you to be there sometimes 3 to 5 hours earlier.
Mhm.
That gives you a window.
Yes.
And when you miss, and the determination it takes to get up, get dressed, you literally will run through the airport so you won't miss that flight. That flight is important.
Yep.
But with the bus, you got like a little 35-minute window. Sometimes with a flight, you miss a whole day. So
Yes.
the urgency is like so different from a flight and bus. So it's like treat life like you're missing a flight. It's like, and so what you said about the mask is a whole different situation and scenario. It takes a lot to preparation, motivation, determination, and when you have somewhere to go, you're gonna get there.
That's right.
You're gonna get there.
Right. That's right. Many people never make that decision, and that's where cycles stay alive. It just takes for people just to sit back for that. And it's funny that you mentioned flying. I also say that when you're flying in an airplane, you may hit some turbulence. You're going to hit some turbulence, right?
Yes,
And the thing
yes,
is, when you hit turbulence, you got it. For me, I know that I'd be like, oh my gosh, I get queasy, and it's like, oh, I just, stay buckled up in my seat, and I just feel like it's going to be over soon. It's going to be over soon, and then once that
yes,
turbulence is over, I can breathe again. So
yes,
that's how life is. Look, you're in life. You're going to have good and bad, and that's what we were talking about, because I can relate to you on nobody ever told you about death. When we lost our grandmother, which would be your great grandmother, nobody told me she was going to go anything. And she was the rock of the family.
yes,
She
yes,
held everything. everything together, all the festivities, the joy, the laughter, she held it all together.
Yes.
Nobody explained that was going to go away. So that did build on top of many other traumas. That just put the cherry on the top.
Yes. Yes.
And so,
Yes.
but after you go through so much trauma and realize that you're everything is not going to be peaches and cream every day. It's just not.
No.
And once we get into that mind frame and we make the decision that no matter what life gives me today, I'm going to make decision to break the generational cycles and the generational curses before us.
Yes.
And this is why I want the audience to know that I'm so grateful. I know you guys heard me call her my niece cousin, but she's more so me and her mother are more like sisters. We were born on the same day. I'm 5 minutes older, which she is at. But I'm telling you, where I can appreciate Ashonda for you coming on is because you're young. You're 37 years old, and there I want more young people to hear the stories that we
Yes.
have, which I'm sure is very familiar for a lot of young people. I'm sure. But it's like, when do we, and this is why I want to talk to people who's coming out of schools or coming in college or whatever, and they're making that life, or even before that, so they can learn that, listen, things may come in life, things are going to come, things are going to go. Things come, things go. Good
Yes.
happens, bad happens.
Yes.
But the thing is, you have to make a decision in your life to say, you know what? I'm not going to keep repeating these cycles, so you can build the legacy that you
Yes.
want for your children. And that is exactly what you are doing. So I
Yes.
appreciate you even coming on the show to, explain this to young people, because this is I call it the awakening. And not, I don't want to say the take back, because how many times, I can't stand when the year changes and people want to make the those new year resolutions.
Yes.
Every day is a new day that God allow you to open your eyes, breathe
Yes.
breath into your lungs. What decision will you make today? Are you going to continue to stay in toxicity? Are you going to continue those generational curses to where your children just keep carrying it on?
Yes.
Are you going
Yes.
to make that that decision to say, you know what, something got to change, something has
Something has to change.
to
And
happen?
when you have children, because I had to understand that, one, being a parent doesn't come with a book. You
It
can
does.
think you're doing the best job ever. You can think you're giving your kids the world, but what do you do when you don't know that you're now hurting your children with your own toxicity and the things that you've experienced? So that was something that I had to look in the mirror and face once before. Having I'm sorry, my phone. Having a son, that's my firstborn. The firstborn always goes through everything with you.
Yes.
They go through everything with you, but because you're
Yes.
still growing, no matter how old or young you are when you have your child, they're going to go through life with you because you're still finding yourself. And I had to look at situations and say, that looks a little bit too familiar, and take a step back and have a conversation, not just with myself, but with my kid. And
Yes.
ask the heart, am I doing a good job? Am I hurting you? How do you feel? Your emotional state. That's important. Sometimes in life, I feel like we look at kids like they're just kids. Like they deal with a lot of hurt. Our experiences, if you're in a relationship with a toxic man and you're being abused, that child is being abused right along with you. That child is feeling your hurt. That child wants peace. That child wants a normal, stable home. And oftentimes, parents don't even correlate that and
They
see
don't
that.
realize.
They don't realize.
Mm-mm.
And for me, if I'm in a situation, a relationship, I'm a runner. I don't got to deal with this. I'm a woman. I'm a very independent person, so I don't have to sit and stay in situations. So I could just leave. But I didn't realize that with me running and floating and just going back and coming back and go, he was exhausted. It's like I'm tired.
Yes.
And I'm like, Jesus, we're not stable. We're living in bags because I don't even feel comfortable in the relationship that I'm in. So let me keep my stuff in bags and boxes so that way when it's time to go next month, just in case it is time to go, I can just pack up and go.
Hmm.
But once my son said to me, I'm tired,
Hmm.
I don't want this no more. I had to make a choice
That's right.
because that's how I was being bounced around with my mom through situations, not being stable, not having. I had to cut it out, and then it trickled down to him in his school. He would face the obstacle. He would get up and he would run. So sometimes flight, you don't even know that you're creating that. Instead of staying, you're just flighting around, you're just running off. And they was like, Miss Fisher, he does this thing where he just runs out the school. And I had to really sit down and think about it.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone, from the break. We were talking about toxic relationships and how the power is often so slowly lost. So let's pick back up where Ashonda, because it was good. It was good
Yes.
where.
And
So go ahead.
I was just explaining that sometimes as parents, we don't know that we're actually making the same mistakes, the same footsteps, the same footprints that our parents made unknowingly because we haven't dealt with our own trauma and really sat down and took the time to sometimes even just speak with our parents. That is very important. A lot of people don't do that. They make their own analysis, they come up with their own things. But when you really sit down and talk to your parent, you get a different perspective.
Hmm.
And I know for me, that happened when I was 26 years old was the best thing I ever did. I was holding on to too much hate and I'm like, I need to really let my mom know how I feel.
Right,
Respectfully. It don't have to be, you don't have to be cursing. You don't have to, it just, mom, dad cannot talk to you.
right.
And it can be hard if you have a parent who's not going to take accountability, who's not receptive to what you have to say. So it's going to take a lot of patience. And if you have a parent that's like that, just know going in that you're not really looking for an apology or anything like that. It's really more so for your healing. That would
Hmm.
be that would be what I would say for a person that deal with that kind of parent because my mother is not like that. She's more understanding. She's patient. She's kind. She takes accountability. So
Hmm.
at the end of the day, I know that even though she's like that, I'm not just going to push everything in your face because I know you can take it. I still want to have respect. I still want to have those boundaries because you're my mother.
Right.
So that's very important. I feel like moving forward in toxic relationships, being trying to be a different person, trying to heal, go to the source. Don't
Yeah.
make up. Just go to the source. Because when I look back and I look at my mom and I talk to my mom, and I look at my nana and I go down, I'm like, oh, this is why I was handled crumbs. Because sometimes your parent only can give you what they was taught.
Yes. Yes. And that's good, Ashonda. That's good. And look, let me tell you, you're 37, I'm 55, right?
Yes.
And it took me until the age of 53 to learn what you've already done. Okay. And it's like, I was like, well, for so long, I never realized that my trauma started from watching my mom's trauma.
Yes. Yes.
And again, I was also angry. Like, why am I being treated this way? Like, I wanted, a lot of people never understood why I did the things that I did. But that was little Bridget just trying to say, hey,
Yes. Yes.
I'm right here,
Yes.
let me help you, and that led me into being an adult that was, pushing everything to the back, letting people do or say what they want to say, and I'll just wait.
Yes.
Just wait, masking my hurt, my pain, and didn't even realize that it was just a cycle that because I watched my mother be abused, and I said that ain't never gonna be me, and then what
Yes.
happened? I fall right into the cycle and sit there with no way out, alienated from my family, things of that nature. Is because and I was angry with my mom and my father one time. Went to and again, I want to state that therapy is not a bad thing. Go get some therapy, some help. to kind
Yes.
of help you guide to where your trauma came from. Now, let me ask you a question. Did you seek therapy, or is it therapy or community? How did you realize your trauma before you sat down and you had that heart to heart with your mother? Where did you get any help from anyone else?
No, no. It was just I became a parent. I
Okay,
became a mother. I became a mother, and things started to shift for me. And
okay,
I was in a relationship, and I think it was a comment that was made. Um, he made a comment, and it kind of like triggered me, like it bothered me. But
hmm
I'm like, you know what? When I would date a guy, I felt like I had to be hard. Like I wasn't soft, loving, feminine. I had a guard up. It's like, what's up? You ready? Like
yeah,
you ain't gonna get over on me. You ain't
right,
gonna hit me. It's like I was always on go. But I realized I don't know how to love because of my mom. Like I don't want to be her. I don't want to be the pushover. I don't want to be being cheated on and abused. So instead of me being, I thought, okay, if I don't act like her, I act this way, then I'll get different results. It don't
right.
matter.
It
It's That's not true.
that's
All you
correct.
do is create a toxic environment because now you hostile, you don't have no self-control, and
Mm-hmm.
now that creates a problem for a man because he's a man. He's like, I wear the shoes, who you think you are? And I'm like, who you think, so it becomes a battleground. But
Right.
now we're two people who have our own traumas, because
Yes.
he may deal with abandonment issues and have a mother who was hostile in his face. And I don't know that, so I was like, you know what? I need to sit down and talk to my mom because this is a problem. And
Hmm.
I just wanted better. And then, like I said, my journey with God and just praying more and just different things was being revealed to me. And I was like, you know what? I need to sit down and talk to my mom.
Right.
Yeah.
And see, that's good. That's good. And that's called facing your fears and your trauma head on. Like, hey, I need to sit down. I need to get some uh, questions,
Yes.
some answers from these questions that I have. And I want a lot of people. That's an awakening when you can face whatever it is that you've been through and face it head on and say, hey, I need answers. And like you said, I like what you said too about not coming and with force with your mom. It was like,
Yeah.
hey, let's just have a conversation. And sometimes it all is different for everybody. You had an approachable parent. I didn't have an approachable parent to where I could just
Yes.
ask questions. And that's a part of the generational cycle that I want to get rid of is children should be seen and not heard. Where you couldn't talk to an adult and ask them questions. Like, you don't question no daggone adult. You do what the adult tell you to do, and that's
But
it.
that come from generational curses because
Generational curses.
back
Yes.
then, older you can ask elders their age. You,
You,
as a child, you had a place.
hmm.
Like I'm 37, so when I look at the generation now, but I always my age, I'm like, oh, y'all lucky we couldn't do this when we was young.
Exactly. Exactly. We couldn't go. Look, you be
So
picking
it
up
was
your
it
vape
was like
somewhere.
this generation there. I didn't even know my mom had a bank account, let alone what bank she banked with. That was the stuff that these kids do now is like Logan be looking at me sometimes like, Mom, what are you talking about? I'm like, you don't understand. Like when you walk into a room and it's an adult conversation, they don't even got to say nothing to you. They look at you, you need to turn right around and get out the room. Now these people are having physical live conversations around children and you looking like that's not normal. It's not normal behavior. But like you said, some of that it did shun you away, and you didn't feel like you had a voice.
Yes.
It
And I
did.
didn't have a voice. I didn't have
Yes,
a voice. Yes.
you
I
was
didn't
not allowed to have a voice. You wasn't even allowed to have certain emotions. Like
have.
I'm sad. What you mean you sad? You can't be sad. You ain't paying no goddamn.
Exactly. Exactly. You are really getting into the whole stuff. That is the old. But so these are now with we all right have like we were talking about we all have raised our children to be different from what we raised through trauma. Parenting does not come with a handbook.
At
and
all.
and I too as well and say I want people to know you can't be mad with your parents and your parents' parents and your parents' parents' parents. You just can't. Okay.
Yes.
For especially for our culture, we were uprooted. We don't even know really who we are. So and our parents didn't know who they were and what they were supposed to be doing, how to raise a kid, because nobody showed them. They could only go off of how they were raised, what they did or didn't like, and then they raised their children.
Yes.
And so it's like, this is what the big take back is about. Let's figure out what is it that we want to redesign or reframe in our culture, in our families, so we can reach that level that we need to be as a people.
Yes.
See, we got to
Yes.
help other people. Religion sometimes, that not sometimes, but religion, some parts of religion have damaged people,
Yes.
is the reason why people don't really go to the church anymore. But let's reclaim this. Let's reclaim
Yes.
it. Let's really take it back, get an understanding, and move from there. So
Yes.
I want to. There's what was the hardest part when you said, I'm choosing myself? I'm choosing myself. What was the hardest part about choosing yourself?
Not not having to care about nobody else outside of me. That was very hard. Like putting my kids second. I literally had to come before everything and everybody. That really bothered me. Like people ask me all the time, how did you do it? How did you lose 100 pounds? How did you come about the situation, being in the crisis center, losing everything in the house fire? That I literally had to put me first. And even when I talk about it now, it's I just put myself first again, getting my surgery that I wanted. I always wanted to get a tummy tuck or whatever, be, feel, beautiful inside and out because of my insecurities. I felt guilty about that because once again, I gotta depend on people, uproot people, and their normalcy and come help me. And I'm not a person who like to ask for help, but I gotta put me first. I had choosing me is so hard because I show up for everybody all the time. Like it's like if I can't help you, I feel bad. Like it's a lot. I don't know why I'm like that, but it definitely bothers me. But I was like, when I was getting my weight loss surgery, I was like that night before, I'm about to just not even do it. Like who are you? Like I really was talking to myself, like, who are you to want to even feel like you again? Like this is your new normacy. Like you're big, you you're a mom,
That's right.
all it and I just was like, no. But then God gave me visions. I kept having visions, and in my visions, I would tell people about the visions all the time, and they was like, "Shonda, you know what's gonna happen?" I'm like, "But I don't even look like that. Like that's a bikini. I never wore no bikini. I never." It was so much stuff about the vision that I would see, even with me being happy. Like I was with somebody and I was super super happy, and I would tell them like it's a God in this vision. I'm so happy with him. I never felt this sense of peace before.
Mhm.
And no lie, like I wake up today and I'm literally that person in the vision. And I'm like, I knew that God was moving me. I just had to really sit still, honor his word, and trust him. I had to
That's
trust the process, but putting me first was hard.
Yes, and sometimes in these toxic relationships and things that we're not staying because we don't stay in them because we're weak, right? We stay because the fear feels familiar. It feels familiar, and unfamiliar feels dangerous to us,
Yes.
right? You get scared to jump out there and see what's outside of the norm.
And
You
you will
know,
make certain sacrifices for your kids. Like I often sometimes stay in situations for my son, for my daughter. Like I don't want them to grow up and not have a father in the home because that's how I was. So I didn't want to repeat the same cycle. I didn't, especially with
right,
my daughter.
right.
When I got pregnant with her, I was pushing a lot of me on her, and I had to tell myself, her story not your story.
That's
But
right.
I was trying my so desperately, and I knew I was trying so desperately not to like have her go through certain situations that I went through. But even today, when I look back, I'm like, you know what? This is God's purpose. Like, you can't rewrite the story. But at the end of the day, I know that I'm a great mother. I know that I show up. I
Mhm.
know that I made the right choices and I have no regrets. That's the best part. I can't say I regret anything that I've done.
Right. And you get to that point, especially when you're redesigning your family. You
Yes.
know, you don't you sometimes I thought that I did that with my children, right? It's like, look, I'm not staying in West Philadelphia, and I'm not going to keep going. I want the best for my kids. I done brought them here. Now I want to give them the best, but not everything you do, because now my children feel like, hey mom, you did the best you can, we love you for that, but I wish you were there more. Or I wish you would have paid more attention. And it's like, oh my
Yeah.
God. But what we need to realize, right, is that we can be raised however we were raised. Okay. We know our parents went well, but it's like, what? And that's what I want my grandchildren to know. Okay. If you didn't like how you were raised, you didn't like so, what are you going to do now? The decision still falls back into your hands, whoever it is. It fell back into our hands the way we were raised, because if you would have said, you know what, no, this is the way my mom raised me, I'm just going to be this way, where would you be today?
Right.
If I would have, took the path the way I was raised, I don't know where I would be today.
Yes.
But I had to make that decision and that choice, like, okay, everything wasn't all good, but this is the way I'm going to grow. So if we keep laying those bricks and those foundations, we
Yes.
will get there. And I also wanted to say that the other important thing about this too is that when you say, who am I? You felt bad for healing and taking care of yourself. You are the child of the Most High God, a
Yes.
supreme being. And the reason why you are worthy is because He said you are. He said that He is within us, right?
Yes.
He's
Yes.
within, he's within us.
Yes.
So why shouldn't we be like Him?
Yes.
The kings and queens that he brought us, the spiritual beings connected with Him. That's why we deserve
Yes.
everything. And we have to stop putting ourselves, we have to stop shrinking ourselves, we have to stop minimizing the things that we do. You are an amazing business owner. You are, your hair, look, okay, if y'all don't know, you're gonna learn today. Okay, you have a craft. And even when people sit in your chair, I sat in your chair. That's another thing we need to be open to, right? It's not saying, oh, she young, she don't know what she talking about. When you
Yes.
sit in Ashonda's chair, okay, even me at my age, you gave me some wisdom that I never even thought to think about. And I was like, wow, I just learned that today.
But when you say that, I do not remember what I said. That'd be the
Look, you brought me from a place to where you had me mind shift from a way that I was thinking, and I wasn't I was like I wasn't thinking outside the box, and the hurt and the pain. And you
right.
sometimes it takes people to see who you are
Yes.
before you can see who you are. And then sometimes you probably don't even see what that person is saying. But
Yeah.
you should make a decision to say, you know what, if somebody or people are saying this to me, then it must be something that I'm worthy of. Let me break
Yes.
through this. Let me break
Yes.
through this and
Yes.
get there. Because cycles don't break. They do not break by accident. Cycles break through hard work. It breaks when somebody decides that it's going to stop with me. It's
Yes.
going to stop with me, and I'm making a change right now. So I'm so proud of you doing that. So you're
Yes.
creating a legacy. And the way you becoming a mother has shifted your life and your choices is amazing. So what cycles are you intentionally breaking for your children?
One, I need them to understand that hard work always pays off.
Mm,
And I need them to know that you're worthy. You could do whatever you put your mind to.
yes.
You can put I need them to have I need them to have emotional intelligence. That's really, I keep talking about that only because I didn't have that for so long. Like they got a new term now, crash out.
Yes.
I At the end of the day, you are so vulnerable when you allow to have someone else who have that much power
Much
and control
power.
over you to
Yes.
crash out. When I tell you the last time I crashed out, I lost everything. I'm talking about stripped away from bra, panties, socks, shoes.
Mhm.
So that's not a good feeling when you look up and you realize that you allowed somebody to take everything you work so hard for. I'm talking about everything I work hard for me and my kids was now going up into flames literally.
Mhm.
And I'm having to report back to the Red Cross Center at 11 o'clock every day with my kids. All because I didn't have the emotional intelligence to say, you know what, let me walk away. I crashed out. So I don't really like that terminology. And I need my kids to know that at the end of the day, know who for you. Pay attention, be vigilant. If you feel like something is off, remove yourself.
Mhm.
Set healthy boundaries. That's what I want my kids to know. And at the end of the day, if you simply don't know anything and I can't give you the answer, go read. It's information is right there. I never was taught about credit. I never was taught about, like I said, God, certain things. Like I was, even at this big age, I still have questions. I don't know. But I know that it's a book I could go read. I could go talk to people that know the knowledge of who Christ is.
Mhm.
That's very important in my home is for my kids to know who God is. You ask my kid, my 5-year-old daughter right now, if you going through something, who do you talk to? She will say God. She don't say me first. I need her to know that you go to God first,
Mhm.
because even though she's 5, she still have emotions and different experiences from
Yes.
me because I'm an adult. So I try to allow them to process life on a different level because I'm 37. I've been here longer than them. They don't know, they don't understand, they can't really comprehend. So I definitely, with my legacy, is just letting my kids know to just be kind, know how to show up for people. You know what I mean? Like if it's something you're not into, even down to drugs, people gonna try to hand you stuff, give you stuff. At the end of the day, make the right decision. I
Yes.
can't tell you not to do it, but I will give you the information that if you do this, this will be the outcome.
Mhm.
Once you get locked up, mommy can't save you. I can't
Help
come
you.
to the jail and take you out. I give them, I talk to my kids like real life. It's not cookies and cream, because at the end of the day, one day I'm not going to be here. And I need y'all to know that when I'm going, I teach my son stuff now that if I die tomorrow, he would know how to take care of his wife and his children. And
Mhm.
I understand why I do that, but life is not promised. He's a man. I'm a woman. Son, this is what a tampon look like. This is what a pad. Why I need to know? Because just in case you have a daughter
Right.
and you need to go out and go get. Oh, okay. It like Logan is very intuitive. He's very intelligent. He's very, very, very smart. He's a child that seemed like he's been here before. My daughter the same way, but I know it's because of how I'm teaching them how to survive without me, whether I'm here or not. How to
Right here.
conduct yourself, whether I'm in the room or around the corner. People
That's
then
right.
talk, oh, that's your son. He real good. He would be with kids and they'll be cursing. He won't.
Mhm.
You have to show up for you. You,
Mhm.
your own person. Your character speaks for itself. And that's all. My character is all I got. I don't care about my reputation at all. But my character, when I show up in the room, who I am, that's
Mhm.
it.
You know why? Because legacy isn't what you leave behind, right?
Yes.
It's what you change while you're still here on this earth. And that's why I pray. And when you say you tell your daughter, to talk to God first, we need to understand, I just, I tell people, like, unless you study, like really study the word, and I'm getting back into that studying, because I want to know it all. I want to know, like,
Yes.
the truth of everything, and I'm getting.
Yes.
But the one thing, even if you don't know scripture,
Yes.
understand that the Most High is a spirit, and you talk to Him how?
Yes.
Through your spirit.
Yes.
So I even sit, even with my just sit and just meditate, and just connect spiritually with it. Because if you don't know, some people say, I don't know how to pray. Sit there in silence, meditate, and have one thing in your mind, maybe just to say, help me, free me, whatever it is that you're going through.
Yes.
Sit in spirit and connect with the Holy Spirit, right? Even
Yes.
if you don't know how to pray, you don't even have to say any words. Okay, so I love it. I love it all, and that is exactly how we what taking back your power actually looks like. Um, so let me ask you this: um, boundaries and beliefs had to change for you to step into the woman you are now, right? So, what
Yes.
boundaries have you set for yourself that you say these are my boundaries? This is how I'm going to stay grounded. So, how do you stay grounded? What are some of your patterns um, that try to resurface that you say, no more, I'm shutting it down?
So healthy boundaries for me always help me because it keep the compliers and the uncompliers. You either gonna be here or you're not.
Hmm.
In a very healthy, respectful way. And I say that only because when it comes to my boundaries, is not negotiable. Like, one, we have to align. We have to be on the same page. I don't think I'm better than nobody, but I definitely don't. If I'm working super hard and I'm hustling, grinding, getting up every single day, I can't be with nobody who just lay around.
Right.
No, you have to show up and give 1,000% the same way that I do. I'm
Hmm.
big on respect. I respect you, you respect me. I'm very thoughtful, you be thoughtful. Um, I had a situation where someone lived with me. They didn't want to comply with certain rules, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I pay the bills here, and because I love you, this is how it has to go. You live here for free. I don't want uh different people in and out of my home. I don't like that. I don't like people coming in and out of my house because I don't know people. People carry energy, different spirits. I don't like it. And once I was telling them these things, they became very angry with me, very upset. They didn't like me, whatever. And I told them that they had to leave because you're disrespectful. They
Hmm.
didn't understand. Oh, now I'm not family. No, I am, because I know that I'm helping you. If I allow you to stay here, be disrespectful, not show up, lay around, you're not even giving yourself 1,000%.
Right.
If I allow you to be in my safe space and just allow you to do whatever you want, you're never going to grow.
Right.
Once I let that person go free as a bird, they got their own house.
Hmm.
They wanted to work. They started showing up,
Hmm.
but only because it was healthy boundaries. You get
Hmm.
what I'm saying? You didn't want to comply when you was here because, oh, I'm being like a drill sergeant. Just that. No, it's in place for a reason. All
Hmm.
your boundaries is going to stop a lot of negativity, a lot of pain, a lot of drama. For one, cheating. If I'm in a relationship, you can't cheat. I'm not cheating. You're not cheating. It's about respect. If you can't do that, then we can't be together. We don't gotta fight. We don't gotta argue. Just go.
Yeah, healthy boundaries, because
Healthy boundaries.
if you don't put yourself first, nobody else will. If you don't, if you lay down, what they say, you lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas.
Please.
It is
Yes.
so that is so some of these metaphors are so true. Okay. And healthy isn't pretending that you're past it. Healing is recognizing patterns, okay, and choosing differently anyway. You know what I'm saying? From those patterns of disrespect, patterns of just, uh, toxic relationships or any kind of patterns. You have to choose yourself. You
Yeah.
have to
All the
choose
time.
yourself, and you have to put boundaries in place because, like you said, they just won't adhere to them.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you had something and you wish someone had told you when you were in the middle, what was something that you wish somebody would to have told you at your hardest season? At heart, and I heard you say that you burned down their house and you everything, you lost everything. What was something you wish somebody had told you, for somebody that's out there right now in their hardest season? What could you say?
Who you think you are in that moment at that age won't be you in the next 5 years. I tell people laugh all the time. I say I'm on my third life. I'm
Mhm.
literally on my third life. Everything about me with my first child and that relationship, I'm not that person. He don't even know me. I don't even want him to think he doing. We got a job.
That's right.
He don't know. I know he don't because I don't even recognize that person I was.
Right.
I'm so different that my second relationship with now with my daughter father,
Mhm.
I'm I was people pleasing, willing to just tolerate certain things. I had a lot of fear. It was
Yeah.
weird because my son, I always say he represents purpose. When I had him, he was purpose. Leah is my strength. She gave me the strength to realize that I can do it, that I can walk away. I don't have to stay in these seasons for
Mhm.
different reasons. So she allowed me to actually get up and make the move. I had a lot of fear. Third life, peaceful.
Okay.
I am who I am. I love who I am.
Mhm.
I don't have a mask. Somebody asked me today, "Hey, Sean, how you doing?" I can say I'm good without feeling hurt inside.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I have so much peace. I could when I talk, I smile a lot. Like
Mhm.
it's different. It's very I glow. I know
Mhm.
that I'm different. I know that I'm the light. I know when I walk in that I'm her. Like nobody, I don't feel none of what I felt before. It's just like, yeah, I'm here and I'm here to stay. Like
So what I hear you saying, Shonda, you went through the burn, you broke it, and now you're into becoming. Honey,
I always the
you're
phoenix. I
becoming.
always tell people I always say this to people because it's a story about a phoenix and people don't know about the phoenix, but the phoenix was burnt down to the ashes, rose up, bigger, better, and beautiful that you ever thought before, like that you ever seen before. Like it came back, like you couldn't even recognize it because it was bright. It was and the part of the story that always gets me is that it's a myth. It's not. I'm the phoenix. It's not a myth, it's real.
Mm,
And that's how I feel about myself. Like that really resonates with me. Like you telling me that was a myth? No, I know because I've been through the fire. I've been down to the
yeah,
ashes and I rose up.
there you
I'm
go.
the phoenix. It's not a myth. This I want, and that's what I want people to know that about me. Don't think that it's just a myth or you just thinking that you maybe I'm just tripping, maybe I'm just having these bit. No,
Mhm.
everything about you that you feel in your spirit and your heart is
Yes,
really who you are. You really can be that person. You can have that job. You can have that career. You can have that home.
yes.
It's
And
there.
have
Yes.
that mental strength that you want. Okay,
Yes.
some people just cave into mental health thinking that they're not worthy or they're not strong enough or they're, some people meant anxiety. All it takes is just realizing who you are and saying, enough is enough. This is who I am. This is who I aspire to be. I may not be perfect, but I strive for perfection. That's what I
Yes.
say to myself. When your children look back at you one day, what do you hope that they'll say about you as their mother?
She the strongest person I know. My mom is the strongest person I know. They going it's Logan do it now. We just smile and laugh about stuff. He be like, "Mom, remember that time when you said you was gonna lose weight? Now look, I could put my arms around you." Like everything that I said that I was gonna do. Like when we was in the crisis center, I remember looking at him in his eyes and I said, "Do you trust me?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Do you believe that we will have another house and we will have 3 bedrooms and you will have your own room?" He said, "I do. We in our own house. He have his own room and it's a 3 bedroom. I already know what I gotta do. Just
That's right.
back me up, be my wingman, and we out." It's like that's how I feel. And my kids give me so much power and so much strength. Like without them, I don't know what I couldn't do without them. They just like they give me if your kids don't like that spark up in you, it's like you definitely gotta go sit and talk to somebody because that's the sole reason. It's the same reason with your journey and how you was able to get up and want to go, get into the military. Everything that you did, sir, was for your children. And
And
now you end up, yes,
it's a purpose.
it's a
I
purpose.
always had that feeling of purpose, even all the way down to my suicidal days or my homicidal days. I would bounce back and forth. It's like I don't really want to hurt anybody. That's not my nature.
Yes,
I want
yes,
to hurt people because I'm hurting and they're causing me more grief. I should just get rid of them all, or I should just take myself out because I'm not helping anybody. But
Yes.
when I was in those seasons, I was like something with just the spirit with it was in me would say, no, you have to hold on because there you have a purpose, but you just have to make the decision to set boundaries. Everything that we are telling people today, you have to make that decision to find it and spiritually connect with that so you can move forward.
Okay.
um, find family. Everybody who is listening out there, if this conversation has spoke to you, it is because your big take back is waiting. Okay, you don't have to stay stuck, you don't have to repeat the cycle. You can decide today to make that change, take that step. Shonda, I really appreciate you for coming on and sharing your inside of your life with others, in the hopes, okay, that some other young people, and we're going to be doing more things. We're collaborating together, and
Yes.
we are going to put the big take back message out there together. We're going to be coming to Philadelphia, and we're going to be there, and we're going to start having some of these panel discussions, and we're going to have audiences with questions and answers because it's all about breaking the cycles and building legacies. So please continue to join us here on B3U, the Big Take Back here on Mogul TV. Ashonda, thank you for coming out.
Thank you so much. I had a good time. I hope
Yes,
everybody listened and really was able to take something from this conversation. Just get up today, apply yourself, and just get up the next day and make it better than it was yesterday. Just don't give up.
that's it.
Don't
That's
give up.
And this is your girl Bree Charles here at B3U.
Love you.
Uh,